like a craft beer through a pint glass. These are the gays of our lives. A show where Lisa and Avery get out their gay decoder rings to decipher the gay alphabet and bridge the gap between the older and younger LGBTQ community and everyone fucking else. And now here are your hosts, Lisa and Avery. Don't blame them.
Hey guys, it's Lisa.
And Avery.
And today on The Gays of Our Lives, I think we're going to explore who we are so that you guys know.
That is a lovely way to put that. That was really well done. That was the first try. You wouldn't even believe that, but that was the first try.
It was actually the first try. Because we really have never talked about who we are. So now that we're getting a lot of followers, we think maybe you guys should know a little bit about us and what we identify as.
Well, and then even really just past that, I think, we're going to try and really do what we do for our guests, where, I think we get to know people's life stories every week. And then we've made a lot of friends.
Oh, yeah.
And it's cool because, because you have to become someone's friend when you're literally swapping your life story, every week. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of talking about myself sometimes. Because, because honestly, a lot of our guests want to know as much about us after the show, you know?
It is cool because, we identify different than our guests and everybody else, and everybody's different. So a little bit about us. And you identify as?
Well, as you know, I am a trans man, and I've been my full self, I'm going to put it that way because that feels like a lot nicer way to put that, for about a year now, year and a half. And I've really been living as a man and so, and then you are
a lesbian. Have been for 28 years or so.
I would say, well, I'm 28, so.
Yeah, the same time you came out, I started going in. So, truth. But it's true. So, yeah, I've been a lesbian, and I'm the older generation in the community that doesn't necessarily understand the newer and more expanded gay alphabet.
Well, it's even just, I think it's also, where you're at in the community, too, because I feel like there's people, I wasn't really in the LGBT culture until I was trans, because when I was just, gay, I was, I was mostly in, a heterosexual culture. So I think, really it depends, where you're at, too,
That's true. And I have 100% lived in both my whole life. I've never separated the two. And they intertwine. My homosexual and my heterosexual life and community totally interact with each other and intertwine. There is no separation in my life. And I have as many gay friends as I do straight. Because I have a lot of straight friends, cisgender friends, especially from playing a lot of poker.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, well, and you play at the American Legion, too, so I imagine, that's a majority cisgender, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I guess, the other thing, is that we're both comedians.
Well, and about the Legion, that's how I got my start.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess that's, that's probably the best way to
because of
describe
poker.
It. Yeah. Poker's why you have you do anything
it's
you
crazy
do
that, it's all stemmed from poker. Mm-hmm. So, you want me to tell that story?
Well, yeah, that's a good place to start with you, I think.
So, I was in home sales for all my life, and I thought I would retire from that. And then I got diagnosed with MS back in 2000, 19 years ago, 2000. But then I was in
I thought it was 19 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm old. And then I got diagnosed with a small case of breast cancer, and it ended up putting me on full disability, and and stuff like that. But I ended up playing poker a lot more, and I was playing poker at the American Legion in Fishers, and I was sitting next to a guy, and he just kept going, "Sears, you're funny," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And he's like, "You should do comedy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm busy. I don't know doing what." But anyways, he talked me into it, and it was Pat McAfee sitting there, and he talked me into it, and so I decided to do it. Got up and tried it in front of 40 of my friends, and then I actually got to open for him my 6th time on stage, which was just mind-blowing. I had no clue what I was doing. I still really don't, but I had less of a clue what I was doing back then. And that's how I got started, and I'm getting ready to leave for LA here in a couple days to get for my audition for Baskets.
Yeah.
So it's
Which is a
from
whole other dream that you didn't even, like how.
didn't even know I had.
Yeah.
But I'm living it, and it's amazing. So yeah, I mean, just from Poker Table Pat McAfee talking me into doing comedy, I'm auditioning for a part on Baskets. The world is crazy.
Oh
but-
yeah.
So how did you come about doing comedy?
Oh, it's like a lot. It's a lot more boring than that. Mine's just really typical. I mean, I people just think you're, they say, oh, you're really funny, and to be fair, and my parents have said this about me like my whole life. Like all I want to do is make people laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a conversation, that was my goal, and I didn't. It wasn't like I wanted to perform though. As a kid, I just really like when people laugh. I just like to be the funny guy in the room. But then obviously the funniest guy in the room is going to be the comedian. So then eventually that's how, actually my friend Jenna at Jokers was like the person to be like, well, I work at a comedy club and I think you should do it. And then I was like, well, she says it, which, I don't know why, but like it just took that one person to be like, well, I'm around comedians all the time. You are funny, But yeah, it was really just like I said, it was like friends talking me into it more than it was like, oh, that's my dream. And then I did it and I'm like, oh, that's the biggest rush I've ever felt. Like, you've seen me when I get off stage.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, and then I'm good all night.
You're
That's the
geeked.
best high you'll
You are
ever
so
have.
geeked.
Oh yeah, and then I love people talking to me about my comedy. I love
Mhm.
talking to other comics. I love I like the friendships you form. Like that's how you and I met.
Absolutely.
We met at Jokers because we both started kind of devoting ourselves to that open mic for a little bit.
Was your first time on stage the one that it was lesbian at
No,
Crackers?
that was my second time on stage.
Because that
at
was the
Crackers.
first time I'd ever seen you. Was at Crackers, and
Yeah.
it was like lesbian, and then big old lesbian me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, they couldn't have spread us out any.
No, and it's funny because it's like they're like trying to soften the blow because it like there was Kate, who was it? It was
Caitlin.
and she's like she was at the time she was a little more girly and feminine and
Well,
she
she's bisexual.
yeah, well, but so what I mean, like so and
So
she's like
soft-ended.
and she was cute and she like talked about a boy and da da da, but I'm also gay and then there was me. And then I was just like a lesbian, but I'm like really easy, you know what I mean? I'm clearly like,
I didn't think about it that way.
But then there's Lisa, who's like the lesbian monster of every conservative Christian's nightmares, you know what I mean? Like, not that that's true, but I'm saying
You're
visually.
not wrong.
I'm just saying visually.
Visually,
Well, you have a mohawk. Although
it's a mullet.
Oh, sorry.
It's not a mohawk. It's a mullet.
Sorry,
Growing
it's just so tall. It's not very long yet.
Well,
it's just so tall.
I don't know. Kid and Play. The 80s are coming
Kid
back.
and Play.
Kid and Play on
You
the
need
top.
to pick one. Billy Ray Cyrus or Kid and Play.
No, it's Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. Don't they call him Billy Ray Cyrus? Looking
I don't
motherfucker or
know.
something? It's something
But
like
you know
that.
what? I do what I want, and I like it.
No, I'm aware you do what you want because we've been doing this show now for what? We're going on 6 months now.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least. So.
So no, I'm aware you do what you want because every time I'm like, we should do this, you're like, well, we're not gonna do a podcast anymore. We're gonna make a TV show. Then like, well, I thought the other idea was easier. You know what I mean?
But this is a lot better, and you got to admit, it's a lot
Oh,
more fun too.
The studio looks so great now.
Yeah, I love this, and this is the last episode. Hopefully, should be. Well, besides the ones I'm going to hopefully shoot in LA, that will be in this studio with the lack of better equipment.
Well, basically, we're about to like take our graphics and we're gonna have to like get something done about our faces and hair.
Yeah, so if you are an intern and you want to help us out, we need hair and makeup on set on Mondays.
Yeah, well, more like hair for me, and then like I don't know, someone who's just really good at working with lighting.
Yes, because
So. But
off subject.
yeah, but I know we're going. It's funny because like when I first met you, I didn't really have like big goals for comedy. I just like I said, like making people laugh, and I get to do that a lot. But now like I have other comics, like not just you, but other comics too, just being like, keep moving forward, keep doing this, go to this show, do this, you know what I mean? And it's like, but then this show adds to that because then all of a sudden it's like I'm not just a comedian anymore, and I get to talk about things that are more intelligent than, let's be honest, some of my comedy is.
That's true.
Because as great as a joke of Bag of Dicks is, at the end of the day, like that's like it's not who I am. And this is cool because also like we've both learned a ton.
Oh God, yes. I had never in my life. I'm about to be 45 next month, and never in my life would I have thought to go up to somebody and say, "What are your pronouns?"
Right.
I actually offended a straight guy because I asked him.
Yeah, you gotta pick your poison with those
Well,
man buns.
Well, I just wanted to make sure. What do you identify as? Or I thought the better way to ask that now, instead of what do you identify as, and you can't say what are you, because that sounds rude. What are your pronouns? And I've learned that that's because at first I was asking what do you identify as, and I guess that some people have told me that's kind of rude because I don't identify I am.
Right.
Like you are a man.
Yeah.
And so they said ask what their pronouns are, not what preferred pronouns, because what their pronouns are. And I was like, that makes sense. So now I'm doing that. Never in my life would I have imagined I would have done that. Because I see you and I say, oh, hey, this is a guy, or this is a girl, or that's a monkey, or whatever. What I saw is what I thought it was,
Right.
necessarily. You know, I tried to be nice about it, but I never would have imagined. And just because of this show, had we not done this, I wouldn't be doing that, I don't think. I don't think. I'm sure I wouldn't.
Well, and it's funny because like it brings up like, I mean that really just brings up a whole different topic, but really like, because I think I'm a very easy person to approach about that. Like, you know what I mean?
You are.
Like, and I think that honestly, because not everyone is. You know what I mean? Some, trans women are not only trying to be passing, but stealth. You know, we've learned that. But also like, it's like. There's so many levels of it to that, but then there's someone like me who I'm not only out, it's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, not like I literally don't. I want to be out so I can tell people that this is great.
That is one of the things I love about us being on video and not just audio. Because they can hear your voice change on the audio.
Yeah.
But like me, I've seen trans people before and after. You don't see them transition. You see them here, maybe here, and then there.
Yeah, but it's not like people are seeing a lot. You know what I mean?
But they will. They're going to be able to see it. They're going to see the change in you and how that happens. And, and I think that's interesting.
I'm really excited for the first episode after top surgery.
Well, there's that.
That's like, because to me, that's like, because for me, that's what it is.
That's your biggest disappointment.
Yeah, that's my whole issue. But you know what I mean? Like, the idea of, like, because then also, like, that is what identifies me as a woman from afar. Let's be honest. I'm handsome in the face. It's just everywhere below. It's just not where it's supposed to be. I'm not lying.
Speaking of top surgery, let's tell them how this kind of started. We told the story on another podcast.
This one again.
Yes, this one again. This is how we started. I got Avery a set on a no balls competition down at Play in Louisville. And we drove down there together, and this is the first time we ever really spent much time talking, getting to know each other. And we're talking and everything, and I'm just... he's kind of easing in on me that he's trans. And so we're driving and he goes, I'm jealous of your chest. And I looked at him and I was like, that is how it went. You told it a different way yesterday, but that's
not how it went.
That's how I remember it. Anyways,
well, you have cancer brain.
So what? I said, I took offense and I was like, so get cancer. So go ahead and tell your story then, your side of it.
Well, no, but to be fair, like, I get nervous and I start making jokes, and we were talking about transitioning, and then we were talking about my chest, and then I was aware you had already had, so I decided,
it wasn't top surgery, though.
No, I know, but that's what I was saying. I was like, I'm just gonna, like, make light of it, because, Lisa tells jokes about it, and, I'm an ignorant child, and I'm like, so I can, too. And then, aloud, I did say something along the lines of, I'm jealous because it's like you've already had your top surgery. Aware after it came out of my mouth, like, well, you and I were just spitballing so fast.
We were.
And then, but then it was really quiet after a while.
But then I sat and thought about it in that dead silence, and I was like, that's not right, because it's not your fault you were born in the wrong body.
Right.
So and then that's how we became such BCFs.
Best Comedy Friends. Wasn't it Best Friends in Comedy? Wasn't it BFC?
BCF. I thought it was BCF.
Oh,
it
no,
doesn't
it is BCF, you're right.
I'm the dyslexic one. What the hell?
I know, but BFC makes way more sense. Best Friends in Comedy.
Okay, whatever. But anyways, that's how it became. And we were like, you know what? We should do a podcast. And I had been wanting to do a poker podcast, because since that's where I got my start at a poker table, and because I talk so much shit, I wanted to do a podcast from the American Legion at the poker table, me talking shit and us playing poker.
Oh, that'd be so fun. You get everybody on mic. You should still do that.
Oh, well then when the new commander comes in, hopefully I will. Yeah, up at the Legion. Yeah. But anyways, so I want to do that, but I was like, I want to do a podcast, and I was like, hey, and he found a place at Carmel.
Yeah, the Crawl Public Library, it's actually a really cool resource that I honestly, I still use it from time to time for other projects. But it's a digital media lab, and they have a whisper room there that you can, and and honestly, I found out a lot of libraries have these, and then now I feel ignorant that I didn't know that, but I'm thinking maybe other people don't. But actually, it's like,
They said it's the only one in the state that has the actual
There's-
recording studio in it.
well, I know. Well, I'm just saying that they all have different kinds of things.
Oh,
like
okay.
some of them do graphic design. Well, all of them do graphic design. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's their main thing. But then some just also have 3D printers. Like they also have
Oh,
a
yeah.
3D printer,
Which
but
is
so cool.
Yeah.
I really want to go get our heads. We're supposed to get little statues of ourselves.
because we're that vain.
Well, it was cool. It was just
That
cool to
too,
see the
but-
process. But anyway, so we got to start recording there, and it was a really
Not
cool space. And then we decided to do this TV thing, and that's been fun.
It's been great. I mean, and the people we've met.
I love all of our guests, and also, like I said earlier, like we've become friends because you sit there and they explain why they identify that, and you can't do that without explaining who
Your
you
story.
are.
Yeah.
And then you know that person so well, and then they know you, after that time, like it's amazing.
Jennifer was a guest of ours, and we met her the day she walked
She's my
in.
favorite example.
And she's one of the show's best friends. I mean, one of our good friends personally.
Yeah, she was she was like one of the first people to congratulate me and Allie when we got engaged.
Yep.
Like amazing, and I just, and honestly, because I couldn't, and I wanted to tell her, you know what I mean, because she's just that supportive.
And then what we're doing, we're starting to get letters about how we're helping people. We got one from a 14-year-old, and
14-year-olds still listen to podcasts,
or watches us.
watches us,
And said something about her parents or their parents don't accept them and da-da-da. And when they're feeling down, they just watch us, and it makes them feel better.
Oh, that
And
is
you know what?
nice.
And that's what the whole point of this is. And it makes me feel good that we're doing something good.
Well, also, I mean, and plus, if they've been watching episodes, they we've had our own struggles with parents. You talk about often how it was hard for your mom at first,
Yeah.
and then, that's.
But I was very blessed. I mean, she
No,
came
yeah.
around, and they do. And that's what I told her. I told them, it gets better.
But it really does. I
It
mean,
does.
honestly, just today, like literally just this morning, my mom, who I think we wrote off our relationship for a really long time because we couldn't get over a lot of things going on with each other. But just this morning, my mom and I really sat down. We talked about my pronouns, and we talked about like what was hard for her, and we talked about what had been hard for me. And then like we really came to this point where she was like, when you're all over me and you're saying I love you and you're hugging all over me, it's not I don't want that. She's like, I can't comprehend why I'm angry. She's like, I'm angry and I can't be angry at you. And that's the other thing. My mom actually said today, I'm upset and it's not your fault. And I felt this weight lift off of me. And that's where I have to say this. Even if you're having trouble with your parents, even if you've been having trouble with your parents for a long time, because this whole thing has been going on my whole life. Mm-hmm. Me and my mom just couldn't communicate. But today my mom finally said something that I have needed for probably 15 years. And she said, I'm upset and it's not your fault. And maybe you have your own phrase that you're just dying to hear from your parents that's that forgiving. And maybe you don't even know what that phrase is. But like, I really truly believe with time and love and patience, because that's the other thing. I put patience and love first with my mom, and that's why she kind of, she says I don't mean to feel smothered, but like I do. I absolutely smother her. But like that is because like I want to make sure she knew I wasn't rejecting her. And that finally paid off today after so long of my mom not having what she wanted.
I remember when I first met you, your dad and your mom had not totally accepted it, because it was when you were first starting transition, right? When I first met you.
Well, and to be fair, like I wasn't communicating well. And that's the other thing the other great thing about having Allie in my life is she is very good at reminding me to communicate well.
Which is his new
fiance. I am engaged and to this person who I don't even deserve, and she knows it. But it's like, well, I don't say that because she constantly tells me that I deserve way more than her, which I could never believe. But
I can't believe that either.
Sorry.
She's better than, she's too good for both of us.
My mom loves Allie, actually. She said today, she's like, most of the time I like Allie more than I like you. I'm like, I feel the same way every morning. Like,
I agree, and I call her sometimes instead of you.
She's easier to talk to.
Yeah, for sure.
But she has gotten me so much better at communicating. So me and my dad got better because finally one day he's like, so you're a dude now, huh? And then we just both busted out laughing, and that was then he was
That
able
was
to.
his acceptance.
Oh yeah, well, and then and then every now and then he tries to like slip something in to make me more comfortable. Like especially if Allie's around, he'll like call me Cowboy, and it's like that's so tough of a name for what I am. Like what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just a wee little man. You know what I mean?
You're a wee little man.
I think that's my favorite hashtag ever. By the way, I love that hashtag.
It's appropriate.
It is.
It's very appropriate for you.
Because I'm definitely a man, but I'm not like the size of like.
You're wee little.
Yeah, but I'm a tough dude. You know what I mean?
Okay, whatever. But
anyway, so, but no, like like I said, so but my communication's gotten better, and I think that like that's opened a lot of doors. But yeah, that's the whole point of this. With parents, it's all about patience and communication, and you have to be the bigger person at the end of the day.
And friends, I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you're trans, non-binary, anything outside of the lesbian or gay is newer to a lot of these people, and your friends may have questions, and make sure you have an open line of communication with them so that they can understand it.
Well,
and that's what helped with us.
Well, but to be fair, I think also like everyone's trans experience is different. So if you can't communicate, that's one thing. It's all about safety and knowing
Yeah.
what
Oh
you
yeah.
need.
You got to be safe.
But like I will say, it does help to have people though that you can communicate that
yes,
to.
for sure.
Like I'm not trying to talk to everybody about well obviously
Now
I'm
you
trying
are.
to talk to everybody, but not on my free time. But I think there's a time and a place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then, but the thing of it is, it does get better.
Oh God,
It does. That's just hang in there. It does get better.
Well, and especially because I feel like it's just so it's recent for both of us that really things started swinging in motion. Like you was the last few years. For me, honestly, it was last year. Like last year when I really started going to Jokers and really focusing on comedy.
My last 3 years is ever since that poker table.
Yeah.
That night. My last 3 years have been crazy.
See,
and awesome.
And then when I think, well, how did I meet Jenna? I'm like, oh, I was working at Texas Roadhouse. I don't want to give that credit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, wow, thank God I got that job at Texas Roadhouse on Shadeland. I'd never be in comedy. Like, no, something would have pushed me there.
Yeah, but, and I, being as old as I am, I don't know if it would have ever pushed me because I made such good money. I don't think I thought I was really going to retire from sales. But I'm really, really glad that I don't make near the money, but I'm a lot happier doing what I'm doing now.
And now you're like I said, you're about to go really achieve this dream of yours. And I think that's why everybody's so proud of you, Lisa. Like seriously, like, and that's everybody from the top to the bottom of that list of people who's your people. You know what I mean? They all have to be so proud of you. No, I'm not done. Because seriously, and I saw all over your Facebook wall and Instagram, like, you still have that team of fighters behind you.
I do.
And it's awesome because, like, now we all get to watch you do this.
Yeah, I've been very blessed with my support system. I mean, I feel almost guilty that a lot of these people don't in the community. But my friends, I'm still friends with all of them since I was in kindergarten. I mean, one of my best friends, her mother and my mother were room mothers together. And her kids are we had them on. They were our ally episode.
Mm-hmm.
And all my cisgender, the poker people, these guys are so redneck and don't know what they would call you. They would just probably make some rude, wrong comment because they're that cisgender. But a lot of them have started listening to our show even. And that really amazes me.
Well, see, our show, I think, is such a cool thing. And honestly, just being a product of what you and I probably saw was needed. You know what I mean? Because, really, because we brought on Misty. That was our first interview.
Probably fantastic.
Yeah, and that was, we had a good intention behind it. You and I didn't understand people who could be polyamorous because you and I are both like, I understand dating one chick, but multiple sounds like a headache.
Oh, God, no.
Like, oh my gosh.
No.
Like, and don't get me wrong, like, if I had, 5 Allies, they would all be mine. But, Allie is, does all the hard stuff. I'm the hard work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I can't imagine. So anyway, she came on.
And she explained the difference in pan and bi. I didn't know.
Oh, she did really well with that,
yeah, because I didn't know the difference in pan and bi.
Well, to be fair, then also, that's the first time we had people, reach out and explain their different ways they also identified as bi. And I think that's cool because then that showed us something that we're trying to show everybody.
Everybody's different.
Well, it's the rest of your life story still matters to how you identify. And then we brought on people and we told their life story. And like I said, we've made all these great friends. We had Shelley Fitzgerald and her family on.
Oh, God. And her daughter?
Oh, my God. She should be
going to Hollywood with me. She
Oh,
should
right.
already be there. Shoot, she's a
She's
character.
already
in herself.
been
Oh,
there.
yeah, right. Well, yeah, they were on Ellen. But yeah, no, and I think what we're trying to do is, so people know it's okay and things do get better. And we're trying to bridge the gap between the older and the younger LGBTQ, but everybody the fucking else, because
But everybody the fucking else is really just
everybody.
like. But literally, it's just anybody who really needs to listen to this.
Or
Because,
that will.
well, but to be fair, like, people who I didn't expect to be listening are listening. I have a cousin, and I don't want to call it strange because it wasn't purposeful. We weren't talking.
Mm-hmm.
We just lost communication in, like, 15 years. And she's, like, now about to graduate high school. But, like, she watches the show. And she pays attention to all that. And then, like, it's cool to see, like, what happens, Or
Yeah.
then you have people, like, we have people in Canada who watch. We have
Paris,
people in Paris. We have...
Alaska, California, Iowa. We just wrote an article for the Stonewall edition.
Well, we didn't write an article. We wrote a blurb.
A blurb in
Yeah.
in an article about Stonewall.
Yeah. No, and we really, like... We make an impact certain places, and that's really... And, the 14-year-old fan. That's awesome.
Yeah, that...
And, like, that's... Like, I didn't know that was going to happen. When we
No.
sat down in the studio the first time.
We were just being us and being silly.
Yeah.
We didn't really have a clear path like we do now of
Right.
what we're really doing like
Well,
we do now. It just happened
and
to
like-
unfold this way.
And it's just so different, because it's not really about... I thought it was about gay culture, but in reality it's about showing everybody that it's just not even just gay culture, it's culture.
We're all just H's for human.
Dork.
I love that. That's
I
why
know,
we have the
I know.
human
They're
t-shirts.
great shirts.
They
too.
are. They're really
I'm
good.
wearing it Wednesday for a show.
I won't wear mine then.
I mean, I don't want to be matching.
No,
I forgot you're going to be
we're
at
that
that
gay.
show too.
We're that gay though.
We aren't.
We are
I'm
that
not.
gay. We are.
I mean, our show is, but I never, it's so funny because, like, when I first came out, again, I was never even involved in the gay community. Like, when I didn't care. I was chasing straight girls.
Yeah. See, and I've been like, hey, Kool-Aid man, boom, here I am. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. I mean, hell, I won the most prideful at the Rainbow Run 2 years in a row. I have all kinds of gay pride stuff. I mean, I've had this for years. I've just always been loud and proud and
I didn't
everything.
have
And
anything
that's like,
until
you're
you.
not like that, So
Yeah, that's so true. Well, but
we're not that gay, but I'm making you.
to be fair, I also, like, I think I dress like, this is gonna sound so silly, but, like, I dress as a young man because, like, I think, and what my ideal of, like, me as a man is, and it's so much more conservative than how I was.
Like with your ties and stuff.
Oh, I love my ties.
I know you do.
I
Your
have a good
skinny
collection.
ties.
Well, Allie looks out for good ties for me. Like, there's a reason my collection's gotten... Again, having a fiance...
She's a good one, too. She really helps us with our show and keeps us in check a lot for comedy shows and stuff like that.
Oh, but then also, like, I forgot. My brothers watch.
I
And
know.
then-
I love your family.
And my older brother, who I also didn't really have a relationship with, like, for a little while. Not on purpose. We weren't mean to each other. We just didn't click. But now that I don't know if it's because I'm a man or what, but he is a great brother to a brother. Like, he was a good one he didn't really know how to be a good brother to me because I wasn't a typical
To a
girl.
sister?
Yeah, but I wasn't a typical girl, so he couldn't
Wow,
be a
that's
normal.
interesting.
But that's what I'm saying. I think this is, like, he gets what to do now. He's like, all right, buddy, like, let's do, you know what I mean? He's like, I have to go move stuff. Do you want to help? I'm like, I'm not, like, that kind of manly. I'm, like, a really subtle kind of,
Get out of that moving.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah, but so we have Allie that helps us.
Mhm.
We've had Paula help us out.
Paula,
I want to give it. Erin is amazing. She comes spur of the moment jump. And we actually have a brand new person on the show to help us out, an intern. Her name is Victoria. Hey, Victoria, come over here. There she is. She's going to be helping us out with our social media and stuff like that. And speaking of, if you want to be on the show, go to our website. We have a contact me page, www.laughs.life.
You can also message us through, like, the Facebook page, which you should be following if you're not already. But then you can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And I believe we have Snapchat now as well.
Because we have a intern doing that stuff for us.
And then to catch up on all of our other episodes, which I think are definitely worth listening to, you can find us on Spotify and Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts.
whatever it is now.
Yeah, they changed it.
I know, and our shows are on YouTube as well, and on our website it has all the audio and video episodes you can link to from that. But there's a contact me page, and we get letters from people, and we're thankful for that. So keep them coming. You know, we love getting the fan letters and stuff like that, like the little girl that sent, the 14-year-old, I shouldn't say little girl, the young lady who sent us a...
You're so old. You think
Oh, shut up. I know I'm old. Fuck off. But, I mean, just, you know, reach out to us. Let us know.
Yeah.
If you like what we're doing, let us know.
This has been Gays of Our Lives. Make sure to check out the Gays online at www.laughs.life. And since Lisa and Avery don't have a lot of money, this episode has been brought to you by
Higher Life CBD Dispensary for all your CBD needs. Located downtown Indianapolis at 901 North Pennsylvania Street. And make sure you tell them the Gays sent you.